very happy to have the operations director of the Maui Humane Society, Jamie Fitzpatrick, in studio. Aloha, Jamie.
Hello. Thanks for having me today.
You've got so much going on there. We just always need to delve in and going, gosh, how much can we talk about? Because you have so much going on. It's always busy. But I do want to let people know we are going to give away. You brought over some beautiful calendars. And I know some people haven't gone out and got their new calendars yet. And even if you have, these are wonderful because they're some of the greatest pictures of local Maui animals that you had a contest for to see who's going to be on this calendar, right?
Yeah, we ran the contest last summer and folks voted, and these are the top winners to fill up the calendar with 12 beautiful months of Maui pets to grace your walls.
Oh, yeah, and I have mine on my wall with a German Shepherd, beautiful one. Then there's the one for Easter, there's a rabbit, you know? And then there's some ones at the beach, and there's some, you said you had one?
My favorite is the kitten in June. It's a kitten who was raised in foster care by one of our wonderful foster families, and the family had made it a little crown, so it's a little royal kitten with a little crown on its head.
So you actually know the stories behind some of these animals, right?
Some of them, yeah, we're fortunate.
Well, if you want a calendar for free from the Maui Humane Society with some wonderful local animals, you can call right now at 244-95. Oh, help me, Gary. 2449. Oh, I've forgotten the number for the request line. That's a special line we do. 244-9543. Is that it, Gary? Oh, I'm going to get in trouble here because we have a special line. And I can't give out the office line because they yell at me if I do. I'll have Gary come in and tell me and make sure that's right. I know some people have it memorized. 244-9543. Is that Gary? What is that? What's the number? What's the request line number? Oh, it's closed. 244-9533. Thank you. 244-9533. 244-9533. And you can get a lovely calendar from the Humane Society. And you could, get your friends and other people. We'll take the first three callers at 244-9533. Well, at least I didn't give out the office line number. That gets crazy because then all the lines light up like a Christmas tree. So we're going to talk about a couple of things that are really important here. When you came in, you mentioned that parvo has raised its ugly head again. Parvo is a nasty disease that dogs can get. And you try to wipe it out, and it seems to go away for a while, right? And then it can pop back up. So the thing that people need to remember is even if you've had your dog vaccinated for parvo, you need to get booster shots. And I don't know if people realize this, right?
Absolutely. It's really important for folks to follow through with the puppy vaccination series with their veterinarian so their puppies are well protected. Puppies are at most risk of parvo, but adult dogs can get it too. One of the cases of parvo that we saw recently was an adult dog. So it's really important that folks finish up that puppy series of boosters with their veterinarians and then follow a regular booster protocol with their vets for their adult dogs as well. Any dogs who go out and about in the public, out to dog parks, out to the beach, anywhere. The problem with parvo is that it's really hardy in the environment. And if an area of land gets exposed to parvo, there's not really a good way to clean it up or get rid of it. And it can be hardy in that environment for over a year even.
Well, the thing that I learned when I was talking to the Humane Society a year ago, there was some problems with parvo, is that people can take their dog for a walk and think, oh, well, I haven't been infected. But it turns out, I found out, that the parvovirus can even be on the paws and other things, and you can walk on the same path with other dogs that have had it.
Exactly.
How do you know if there's symptoms for the parvo? How do you know?
Symptoms for parvo typically are going to be vomiting, diarrhea, lethargy, loss of appetite. But the problem with parvo is that it progresses very quickly, and a dog who maybe just seems off one day is almost deathly ill the next day, possibly. And especially with puppies, it's just extremely dangerous.
So this is something people really need to be aware of. Maybe your dog already got a vaccination for parvo, but think, did you get a booster shot? And that should be once a year?
Once every 1 to 3 years, depending on your vet and their protocol and how high a risk your dog might be at. Yeah, every 1 to 3 years, your dog should have a booster vaccine for parvo.
Now, I know people can go to their vet, but do you help also with parvo vaccinations?
The time that we offer vaccinations for dogs is when dogs come into our spay-neuter clinic to get fixed. So we do offer high-quality spay-neuter, low cost at our shelter pretty much every day of the week. We have a grant right now that helps us let folks get their dogs fixed for just $20. And when the dog is in for surgery, if they'd like to add on a vaccine, they can do that as well.
$20 is amazing. I mean, that because if you would go to a vet, my God, it should be a whole bunch more. Plus, you will get a parvo vaccination as well, or a booster shot, right?
Yep, exactly. And our surgeries that we do at the Maui Humane Society include a free microchip as well. So it's really an amazing value, and we're really thankful to the folks who have given us the grant so that we can provide that to our community to help protect our community's pets.
Yeah, and I can't, it always bothers me when people don't get their dogs spayed or neutered. I mean, because, you see it there with the pet overpopulation. It gets so sad because you will get a litter of puppies in there,
Yep.
and sometimes there'll be 5, 6, 7, 8 puppies, and trying to find homes for these puppies is so hard. It's hard enough when people have to move and they bring in their pet, but when it's a litter of puppies, that's really, really tough, So everyone should get their dog spayed or neutered. And you are doing, on top of that, a MASH clinic with free, high-quality spay and neuter surgeries for cats coming up next week. I guess that's Monday the 28th and Tuesday the 29th. And this is free, folks. Yes, FREE, spay-neuter surgery for cats. And again, you have the extra nice bonus of putting on the microchip on this one, right?
Exactly. So thanks to the Dave and Cheryl Duffield Foundation, we're able to present yet another MASH clinic at the shelter. So these clinics are free to the public, and this clinic is just for cats. So yeah, next Monday and Tuesday, we're going to fix a couple of hundred cats at our shelter. And they're
People are already lining up for that.
People are already lining up. But we do still have room in the schedule. So I wanted to encourage folks to call in today. Please give the shelter a call. Our normal shelter number, 877-3680. Option 3 will get you straight up to the customer service team, and they will be happy to get you booked into the schedule. I know Monday's getting pretty full. We might be able to squeeze a few more in, but I know for sure there are spots available on Tuesday. So please call in. We'd love to help get some cats fixed.
These definitely fill up, folks. So don't wait until next Monday because it's going to probably be full by then. So the time to take advantage of this great offer, free MASH clinic, which is spay and neuter and your microchip for free.
And
no
the vaccine
charge.
is free as well.
You do the vaccine.
Yep, at the MASH clinic, the vaccine is free too. We also offer free for folks to borrow our traps if folks are helping with wild cats, feral cats, community cats, and these maybe isn't the friendliest cat, but we want to make sure that they're not out there making more babies. We do loan those traps out for free, and so the cats can be transported in safely for the surgery next week as well.
So how do you properly handle that? Because, I walk around Keopolani Park, there's a whole huge cat population there. We've seen that. Probably some of those have already been captured. But how would you put the trap out? Is that, are you educated when you go pick it up? Or?
Yeah, our staff demonstrates exactly how to use the trap, gives tips and tricks on where to set it up, when to set it up, how to get the cats acclimated to the trap so they're more likely to go in. And, if you're working with some outside cats and you're not sure if they're fixed enough, we usually recommend folks look at the ears. If you ever see one of those cats, they have either a little notch out of the tip of the ear or an ear tip where there's a little flat top on the tip of one of the ears. That's an indication that the cat's fixed already.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so when the cat comes in to get sterilized at our spay-neuter clinic, they not only get spayed and neutered and microchipped, but they also get that ear tip for these outside or wild cats so that people can see at a distance and see at a glance that they are already fixed and good to go.
Well, there are many people that are out there trying to help feed these animals. This would be very good if you're one of those people that try to help feed, is to at the same time get one of these traps and see if that cat needs to be spayed or neutered. It's heartbreaking. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, it was astounding number of feral cats on this island. Astounding. It was like 40,000 or something like that.
The numbers are, whatever they are, there's quite a lot.
Yeah,
so
it's huge. It's a huge number.
That's why, aggressively working to spay and neuter as many animals as we possibly can is really going to be the key to turning that tide for our community. And so that's why programs like this, our MASH clinic, and thankfully, sponsors like the Dave and Cheryl Duffield Foundation, see that that's a priority and help us get these animals fixed for our community for free.
And I think we probably all know someone in some neighborhood that has this thing about not spaying or neutering the cat. Next thing you know, there's all these cats. I mean, literally sometimes 30 cats or something hanging around, and then the other feral cats that come to get the food since they feed them outside, right? So the proper way to try to perfectly suggest to that person to maybe go to the spay-neuter clinic without getting in a fight would be...
Well, it's tricky, helping them understand that, cats having to go through the process of giving birth and everything is a difficult thing. Raising a litter of kittens is no easy feat. And if we don't have to put kitties through that, that would be good. There are other health benefits. Cats are going to live better lives if they don't have those hormones going on any longer. And it's going to reduce a lot of those nuisance behaviors. If you hear the cats outside yowling and things like that, if we get them spayed or neutered, that drastically decreases. So it's gonna help everyone in the neighborhood have a more pleasant experience when those cats are sterilized already. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know how young cats can be and still get pregnant. So they think, oh, well, I'll just wait. I'll do it soon. Well, that's why our clinic is actually now. This is the best time of year to get cats fixed, because there is truly a season for when they go into season and when they go into heat and when they have all the babies. So if we can get them fixed now before that happens, that's just easier on everybody. But kitties can get pregnant by the time they're 5 or 6 months old. So time is really of the essence.
Right?
Yeah,
oh,
very young. So time is of the essence to get these guys fixed.
Well, and it's such a great thing. How much would it cost if someone were to go to a vet and say, I want to do a spay neuter and can you put the microchip in? What would it cost?
Well, it depends on if the cat's a boy or a girl, but even for a boy kitty and plus the microchip, you're easily looking at $150 to $200 probably for the neuter vaccine microchip. So,
folks,
and for a girl kitty, you're probably looking at over $200 with everything all together.
So if you've got a couple of cats, you can save $400.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. We'd love to get that whole litter in and get them all fixed.
Which is, that's a great service. I want to thank the people, the Duffields, Dave and Cheryl Duffield, and their foundation for this, because this is where you stop this problem of the problem of feral cats and the problem that you see of the cat overpopulation. You have a full house down there I know you just were doing last fall the reconstruction on your cat house, right?
Yeah, we did that back in November, and it's beautiful. I encourage anyone to come on down to the shelter and have a look. We're actually open 7 days a week now. Some people might not know that. We are open every day, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can come on down, see the renovated cat building. But yeah, the time is ticking. Kitten season is creeping up on us. We do get inundated with cats and kittens, especially in the spring. So it's really important that we get those kitties out into homes, especially into foster homes when they come into the shelter and they're too young for adoption. But again, if we can head it all off at the pass and get these kitties fixed now before they make all those babies, that's even better.
And as part of that, since it always happens where you do get litters in to your place and it's a full house, unfortunately, right? I know there were many people that helped out when you were doing the reconstruction work for the cats. And took on foster animals during that time. And you probably saw a lot of people fall in love with their pets and want to keep the rights.
We sure did. We had some adoptions come out of that event, which was really great to see. But, these folks joined our ranks of dedicated foster families. At one point last summer, we had over 200 kittens out in foster care.
Wow.
Getting raised up so that they'd be ready for adoption.
I never would have guessed 200. So we want to encourage people, since it is getting towards the season where you're going to be seeing more cats coming in. By the way, you've done a great job in reducing that, but it's still a problem. People, you're looking for people who want to foster these young kittens until they can be old enough to find homes, right?
Yeah, fostering kittens is so rewarding, and we have folks who help in different ways. I love bottle feeding kittens, but I'm fortunate to have a job where my little kitties can come to work with me so I can feed them every 4 hours. Not everyone's in that boat, so we love it when folks can foster the older kittens too, the kittens who just, need their litter boxes clean, need food and water, socialization, love. So the kitties who can already eat on their own. So we're always looking for more folks to help us.
Now, with the foster program, you help people. You give them actually everything they need to get started, right? A little starter kit.
We do. We provide those starter kits. So we provide all the consumable supplies. We're asking the foster parents to provide the care and the love. We'll send out the food, the medicine if the kitties need it, litter boxes, toys, towels, blankets, whatever they need to help raise the babies up.
Really? Even the toys?
Even the toys.
Wow.
Although most of them like toilet paper rolls anyway, so.
No, that's really very, very cool. We run a show on Saturday, Warren Eckstein, and he always talks so much about how important it is to keep these cats really interested in their environment, and provide things that are new. Even if you have a couple of toys, to always have either bags or things to do that they can play with.
Cardboard boxes.
Yeah, cardboard boxes. Yeah, things that can keep them busy in their minds, because cats are really intelligent
And
animals.
curious. Yep.
And very curious.
Very curious. They like to
Curious
explore.
as a
They like
cat.
to play.
Absolutely. So this is something where the community can get involved. And I have to say, the community really has stepped up in the last few years. Especially, I've seen some of the numbers, and it's pretty amazing, not just with cats, but with dogs as well.
Yeah. At the Maui Humane Society, it can sound corny when I say it like this, but our tagline, and it is true, we love saving lives. We absolutely do, but we can't do it on our own. We are only as successful as our community will allow us to be. So our community members who offer to open their hearts and homes to foster animals, community members who adopt an animal, there's no way we can do with what we do without our community's support and buy-in.
Well, I know there's always some wonderful events going on, too, and it's kind of made people reach out. You have the lovely fun events that happen down there in the holidays, and I know you did some around Christmas time with the pet photographs, and there's always the Freddie's birthday celebration. And fun people now with that have felt that there's a way to get involved. And on top of that, unfortunately, there's so many places where you're not allowed a pet. If you rent a house, it's very difficult sometimes to find a place you can rent that will allow a pet. So what you've done is really opened your arms to people to come down there, and you have times that kids can just come in and play with the pets, and people can volunteer and work with the pets. So I've seen quite an interaction with the community as some of these programs have been developed.
Yeah, we love being able to have our community be a part of the shelter and be part of what we do, which is why, again, we love being open every day so folks can come on down 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day and come and visit the animals and see what we're doing. And, it's not just about the cats and the dogs, although those are the bulk of the animals who we do have. Some folks don't know we have other animals like rabbits, guinea pigs, turtles. We had some chickens, a pair of beautiful Plymouth Barred Rock chickens in the
What
other
are those?
day.
I don't know.
They're the
which
beautiful
white
ones who are the black and white checkered marked.
Oh, yeah,
little
yeah.
ones like you see on tea towels all the time.
Yeah.
So a pair of those girls just came in recently and just got adopted, but little turtles. And right now we have some guinea pigs. So
guinea pigs.
there can be anything going on down at the shelter.
So where do you keep all those animals that aren't the cats and dogs? What section do you keep the
We
others in?
We affectionately call it Critter Corner. It's straight out in the middle of our campus, and we have a little turtle pond for the turtles. There's
fun.
all the little cage setups for the bunnies and guinea pigs. We have some little yards in if we get a bigger. Sometimes Freddie is not our only tortoise. He's our only tortoise who's ours.
Yeah.
But sometimes we do have some other African sulcatas who come in as stray, and we have to find a home for. So
Do you get birds?
we do. We've had parakeets, cockatiels, conures, lovebirds. Pretty much anything.
And you don't want to keep those near the cats.
Exactly. They have a special little aviary area where no kitties are going to be near them.
It's a little Noah's Ark, kind of
Pretty
going
much.
on down there with a little bit of everything at
Pretty
the Humane
much.
Society. And you've done a lot of work. I saw you painted it. You kind of expanded. You've done a lot of work, and people don't realize how much money. I mean, I've talked to some of the people there, and they tell me what it costs to just feed and take care of these animals. Because you have it. Has anyone ever counted? I know it fluctuates from day to day, but you have tons of cats and dogs and other critters that you have to feed, right?
When our shelter's at capacity, and again, this doesn't count foster care because foster homes, can double or triple our capacity. But when we're at capacity, there might be almost 100 cats at our shelter, and there might be, 60 dogs at our shelter.
Wow.
So there's a lot going on. It can keep us really busy. We actually had our all-staff meeting the other day, and we had a trivia question, and we tallied up the numbers. How many pounds of dog food did it take to feed our shelter dogs last year? And I was astounded. It was 10,800 pounds of dog food.
So how do you afford all that?
Well, that's where our community comes in. We do receive some funding from the county. It's less than 40% of our budget to provide the animal care, sheltering, and enforcement services that our shelter provides. But the remaining majority of our budget has to come from donations. And so that's going to be a combination of grants and
you
programs
have to-
like that and individual donations from our community.
People don't realize if they call in, maybe a dog has been hit by a car. if they come in and they're injured, you do your best to take them into surgery and save their lives.
That's us, yeah.
And it's a lot of work to do that, and expensive.
It is, and that's
time.
us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Some folks, might not know that we do have 24-hour service for our humane enforcement officers. If anyone calls anytime, day or night, 24 hours a day. If there is an animal emergency, our officers are available.
Wow, and is that the same number?
It's the main number, yep. And then the phone tree will say if you have an emergency with an animal, hit a certain button. And I didn't want to say the button because at nighttime it's different than daytime, but the message will tell you.
But again, the number to remember is 877-3680, 877-3680. And if you're just tuning in, I'm talking to Jamie Fitzpatrick, who's with the Operations Director of the Maui Humane Society. And again, we're talking about, one of the reasons we came in is this amazing opportunity. It'd be a $200 value for one kitten. It's going to be for the cats this coming Monday and Tuesday. Spaces really are filling up, and Monday's almost full. There's some spaces on Tuesday, but not only is Spay Neuter, but you get also the vaccination and a microchip as well.
All for free.
And it's all free. And again, the number is 877-3680, extension 3. Another real success story that you've had is the Wings of Aloha.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite programs.
When it started, I kept thinking, how in the world is this going to happen? How can you ever afford flying a dog to the mainland? It's expensive and it's hard to do and everything. So how did that thing take flight?
Good phrase. Well, again, it all comes down to the fact that we love saving lives, and we have an overpopulation of pets here on Maui. And no matter how loving and wonderful our community is and being willing to adopt, there just are not enough homes here on Maui to absorb the homeless pets here. So it's out of necessity. It is out of necessity that we raise the funds and get grant support to be able to send these dogs to the mainland where they're able to be adopted.
So who's in charge? Is that the development department? That's a lot of work.
So the development department does the fundraising. My department, we're the ones who manage the transfer program. So it's our transfer coordinator works in our department to work on playing matchmaker. Similar to how we play a matchmaker for our adopters here, we're playing matchmaker with transfer partners on the mainland who.
So you post a picture or something, and then someone on the mainland sees it and says, maybe I have someone that might want this dog?
Pretty much, yeah. We have existing relationships with some shelters and rescue groups, primarily in Oregon and Washington. And what we do is we get to know them. We get to know what their clientele is like. We know, this shelter does really well with working breeds. This shelter does really well with the giant dogs. And so we'll then put together an email to them of profiles of some different dogs we think might be good fits for their organization. And cats as well. Wings of Aloha is a big deal for cats and kittens.
I didn't know it did cats.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I thought it was just dogs.
No. Last year it was over 300 dogs. Or last year I think it was exactly 300 dogs, and it was over 300 cats and kittens flew on Wings of Aloha.
But it's expensive, so how do you handle them? Number one, it's hard work getting that dog or cat down. You got to be caged, and they got to be taken to the airport.
They'll have to have health certificates in order to be able to fly to the mainland. So it's a big ordeal. We've been really fortunate. Again, our development team works really hard, and we've been fortunate to be able to have some grant funding that's right now supporting that program. And we're just crossing our fingers that continues so we can keep it up.
Well, it's been amazing when you say 600 animals, lives were saved. And that's a lot of work going behind each individual pet to get a loving home. Sometimes on your newsletter or on the website, you show pictures.
Oh, those are my favorite.
Aren't they great to see the people loving their pet they found and got from here? Yeah. And what a lifesaver. I mean, literally a lifesaver for these animals.
It is absolutely a lifesaver for these animals. And one of the parts that sometimes really resonates with me when I see those adoption stories is how life-changing it can be for the families who adopt. How joyous it is to bring a new animal into the home, and how rewarding that can be, and how it can positively change people's lives just by bringing that pet into the home.
And you see that wonderful, amazing success story, and again, to have that connection that you have between Maui and these wonderful families you found homes for from these pets, and it's just a beautiful thing. And people, I mean, that adds up, 600 pets finding homes. It's really hard here because there are not a lot of people who can find, if they're renting, a place where they can take animals, So this is why it's so important. And do you figure out, I mean, how much, do you ever know your percentage is? Because people have not been able to find a house when they move and they can't take a pet with them? Is that one of the major problems, or is it because of what? They're moving off the island, maybe?
Well, so it's tricky. The biggest reason we get animals in is because they're lost and they're stray. So well over half of the dogs who come in because they've gone missing. And thankfully, because of identification, a lot of those dogs have microchips or tattoos. We're able to get them home. But a good portion of them don't. So we have to work harder to try to figure out where their owners are and where they're from. And then if we can't, then those dogs would work on going up for adoption. Of the dogs who do get surrendered because their families can't care for them any longer, a significant portion are because of housing. They maybe unexpectedly had to move and couldn't find a place that they could now take a dog to. But really, one of the biggest things for our community that would help is if more pets had identification like a microchip.
Gosh,
then we can
in
get
this
them
day
back
and age
home.
that people don't realize how important that microchip is.
It's incredible. It's life-saving for pets.
Yeah. And you offer that when people come in for the MASH clinics.
And
Again,
our regular Spay-Neuter clinic, a microchip's always included as well.
yeah, and that solves that problem, which is amazing. And you know, if you've lost an animal, think of how easy it would be if you had that microchip on there. So you really need to take advantage of this, folks. I wonder why no one would ever not do it. I mean, it's like, why wouldn't you get a microchip? I mean, I don't know. People are busy, I understand, but that's
Life happens. Life happens.
Yeah, it does indeed.
Any vet clinic can implant a microchip. We also offer microchips at our shelter, so folks can come into the Maui Humane Society anytime we're open, 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we do microchipping for just $30. No appointment needed. You can walk in. We'll get it done for
Wow,
you.
that's great to know. Or
Yeah.
you can take advantage of one of the clinics. Now, you're going to have another dog clinic coming up.
We are going to have a couple of things. We've got this clinic coming up next week, our MASH clinic for cats. Pretty much every day we have a low-cost spay-neuter clinic that lets us help get dogs fixed for $20 and cats fixed for $10. We're going to have another MASH clinic coming up in April for cats, but there's going to be a dog clinic coming up in June. So sneak peek at that.
Yeah.
Dates will be announced. I always recommend folks sign up for our e-newsletter. If you go to our website, www.mauihumanesociety.org, you can sign up for our e-newsletter.
It's a good newsletter.
Oh, I'm glad you like it.
No, it's a very good newsletter. I think a lot of work goes into it.
It does. Again, our amazing development team does great work. But that's how you get the sneak peek to know exactly what's going on at the shelter and be the first to know.
Well, can we have a sneak peek at a possibility of a thing coming up in March, which is going to be a night at the pound?
Oh, our shelter sleepover, you mean?
I do mean that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't want to spoil everything, but information will be posted on our website before long. We are going to do a shelter sleepover. So folks are going to be spending the night in a dog kennel with a dog to help raise funds for the Maui Humane Society.
I'm still debating it. I want to do it. It's just that I you know, you are literally going to be in that cage with the dog, and you have to bring your own sleeping bag or sleeping way of sleeping.
Bring
right?
whatever you'd like to be comfortable for the night.
And you are there for the night, you know, and it is obviously a fundraiser, you know. So they're going to, hopefully you're going to all be doing social media to raise funds, getting sponsorships for that. And I've talked to a couple of people about it. I know some people are actually very excited about it. And for those of you that like to do social media, think of Facebook Live, of you there in the cage with the dog, you know. I mean, what a photo opportunity. See you selfie there, you and dog sleeping together.
We haven't told the dogs about it yet, but they're going to be very excited.
I think they're going to be extremely excited. My gosh. And think of the activity and the fun's going on. And I mean, you know, when else in the world can you ever say you slept with a dog in a pound, you know? I mean, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know, in some places, they actually, in zoos, they'll charge you to do a sleepover in zoos. You know, that's become a big deal.
Oh, I've heard of those.
Yeah, yeah. And some of the big zoos, you can go and sleep with the elephants or sleep in certain sections, you know, and they charge you to do a sleepover with an animal, right? So but it's never been, I don't think it's ever been done here before. I've never heard of anything like that happening
I don't think
before.
we've done it in our history, so we're really excited for our first go.
I think it's going to be very fun. So, and I'm debating it, but the problem is I don't have a sleeping bag. I lent someone my sleeping bag, and I don't even remember now who it is, and I didn't get it back. I was like, oh my God, where did I get a sleeping bag? So, but I have thought about it quite a bit, so that's on my agenda to decide on. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to have limited space on that, right?
Yes, we only have 24 kennels in the dog adoption area, so that's where it's going to max out.
Yeah. And it'll kind of be like a big Ohana thing going on, right? A party of sorts.
No, they do call it
sleepover.
It's called a slumber party for a reason. Wouldn't even need the sleeping bags.
So you're going to have staff there overseeing everything? Are you going to have to
We'll have some staff there to assist and just see if anyone needs anything. And like I said, the dogs probably won't get a wink of sleep. They're going to be so excited.
So, and there's been last year, I know it was a great success. I couldn't believe the fur ball was, Give Me Shelter, was it the theme?
Yes.
But you sold out of that a month out. I could not believe that was so successful. And again, we just want to thank everyone in the community because, I mean, I kept going, well, this is going to, be hard to sell out and we'll have to really push this. And it was like, what? A month out? You're sold out.
I think it was a little over a month. Yeah, it was incredible, and it was such a fun event. And it'll be back again this September.
Oh,
so
it is going to be back.
It'll be back this September. There'll be some new bits and whatnot. I don't want to spoil the surprise. So,
it's going to be held at the Humane Society, and the whole party's going to be there, right?
We're not ready for that surprise. No, the information will be released before long about where it's going to be.
You see people all dressed up in their formal gowns at the Humane Society.
But it's going to be amazing this year. So do keep an eye out. Definitely sign up for the e-newsletter so you know as soon as those tickets are available, because I'm sure it's going to sell out again this year.
Well, there's a lot of, work that goes on, and I just want to, before we get through here, I got Tony Rojas calling in soon, but I want to say thank you to the volunteers, because I know there's a ton of volunteers that go down and help, and there's still, even with all those volunteers, need for volunteers. You have volunteers doing all kinds of things. Name a few things that they do to help out.
Volunteers help with everything from walking dogs to socializing cats to answering the phones, filing, doing mailings, washing litter boxes, mowing the lawns, weeding. It's absolutely everything that keeps our shelter running and looking great.
Which is so important. Mm-hmm. Are you still doing those take a dog to the beach thing?
Beach Buddies. Yes, we love Beach Buddies. So Beach Buddies runs every Wednesday and Friday. Sign-ups are on our website. Last I checked, we were booked into April.
Wow.
So it's very popular, as you might imagine. Visitors and residents alike can sign up to take a dog out for the day. And they don't just have to go to the beach. They can go for a hike, they go out for lunch,
fun.
Whatever they want to do.
I didn't know that. I didn't know. I thought you had to do the beach. I didn't know you could go for a hike.
Wherever you and the dog decide to go.
So how does that work? How does that work?
So folks sign up in advance on our website. And then the day before the event, we email out the list of dogs who get to go. And they, so folks can get matched up.
Sorry about that. Oh. I thought that was a person calling in for Tony, but she'll call back if it was.
Okay. So folks get matched up with their dog and then come on in on their day. We set them up with a backpack of supplies, give them ideas about where to go,
cool.
And then they go out for the day, and they come back by 4 in the afternoon, and the dogs are always tuckered out. You can tell when it's a Beach Buddy day because the dogs are just flat out on their beds having a great rest.
I love that idea. If you're going to take them to the beach, make sure you have something to clean up after them.
Mm-hmm. That's
please.
In the kit. Yep, we've got the poo bags, the water bowls, the toys,
but
the blankets.
I like the idea of taking a hike with the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, they
and
love
visitors, do visitors find out about it and know about? How do they even know about this on your newsletter?
When we launched the program, we did not do a lot of push for it. We just kind of did a soft opening and figured we would figure out how to market it more later if we needed to, but we've never needed to. It just took off like a rocket.
Well, there were some cute pictures, and some people were posting them.
Oh,
and
yes.
I think it actually got covered in some national stories.
There was some
right?
national story. There was a video that one of the wonderful Beach Buddies supporters made and went viral. I can't even remember how many hundreds, thousands of hits it had.
Seriously.
It went crazy. And so we have not had a problem filling up spots for that program. It's been really heartwarming.
And again, that's just a way of people getting involved and helping out. And then also, realizing that how much it is a community effort at the Humane Society. And I've really noticed over the last 5 years that community coming together and wanting to support this and getting behind it and understanding the attitude of like, wow, there's some good things going on at the Maui Humane Society, and people can get involved and help.
Yeah, we can't do this on our own. It's a community effort to get this done, and our community support is invaluable to us.
And again, the number to call, the one number to call, 877-3680, is the main number. If you want to do the MASH clinic, the free one for cats, it's happening Saturday and Sunday.
Monday, Tuesday.
I'm sorry. It's Monday and Tuesday, the 28th and the 29th. The Monday's almost sold out. There's some room, a little bit of room maybe on Monday, but Tuesday, lots of room. Mm-hmm. So you call 877-3680, extension 3, and you can make an appointment. And appointments definitely are suggested, right?
Yeah, we have folks let us know so we can get them scheduled for a drop-off time. They would drop off in the morning. If folks are able to make a donation for the services, that's great, but not required. And then what we do is we'll give them a call or text them in the afternoon as soon as the kitties are ready to go home.
Yeah, and then I bet you also get sometimes where you get pets adopted from this as well.
It brings a lot of foot traffic to the shelter. So we have a lot of visitors those days, and sometimes, sure, that does turn into adoptions.
Yeah, and people can always help out also. If you can't do all of the above or any of the above, you certainly can make a donation.
Absolutely. Folks can make donations in a variety of ways. There's ways to make monetary donations right on our website. You can just go to mauihumanesociety.org and donate online. Folks donate items as well that may be of use to the shelter. If you check out our website, there's a wish list of items of things we're always looking for. Like we're always looking for canned cat and dog food.
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's really important.
Yeah, especially for all those little babies we get in. That canned food helps them grow up big and strong. We always use old towels, especially for a big event like our MASH clinic. We go through so many towels at an event.
I wouldn't
like
have
that.
thought of that.
Yeah, we love old towels.
Wow. Okay, so if you get old towels, everyone's got old towels,
Yep,
right?
we love them.
So don't throw those out. You can take them down there.
Bring them on down anytime, and it's an excuse to come and see the animals so they can thank you themselves.
So what are the hours?
We are open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
11, but Sunday's different hours, isn't it?
Every day the same. Yeah, we're open
I thought
Sundays,
it was shorter
same time
hours
now.
on Sunday.
Yeah, I believe it used to be way back, but yeah, we're back open 7 days a week. As of September, we just opened 7 days a week again.
Wow, there's so much to do there.
It's hard to keep up.
How many staff members do you actually have?
Oh, we are up over 50 staff members now to run all of our programs. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that includes our officers, our adoption team, our customer service, animal care team, our foster team, transfer, medical team, development team, our hardworking facilities team that does all the work to make our campus look as beautiful as it does.
Well, and that's a lot of work.
It is. It keeps us all very busy, and we love it because that's what we love to do.
Well, and I have to thank you and the whole team down there. I know I work very closely with Nancy Willis, so thank you, Nancy, because there's a lot that's involved in the community, and a lot of places don't realize, again, individuals doing the work, but also you really have reached out through communications, through the ads, through the different, usually amazing newsletters and things online. And again, people can go online and see everything that's available. They may not remember everything that we talk about here, but they can go to your website.
Yeah, please visit our website at 24/7, mauihumanesociety.org, and you can see what's been going on and what we've been up to and how you can get involved.
Yeah, I think you do an amazing job, and I want to thank Nancy and the whole group down there that does great work. And again, before we wind it up, I want to say parvo, people, if you didn't hear in the beginning, this is really important. Parvo spreads really easily, and you don't want an epidemic of parvo going on. It's really devastating to see the results of parvo. And it was under wraps for a while. It was taken care of, right? But you've been seeing some
There
new
have
parvo.
been a couple of different cases in the last 6 weeks that we have seen coming from different parts of the island. So it's very important. The one good thing about parvo is it's very able to be protected with vaccines. So making sure your dogs get vaccinated and stay current on their booster vaccinations is going to be the best way to help protect not only your dogs, but the other dogs of our community.
And they can come down.
So we offer vaccinations at our shelter when dogs come in to get spayed or neutered. Otherwise, I would recommend calling your vet to get those boosters up to date.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And I really, really appreciate it. I don't think I've had a chance to talk to you. So as Director of Operations, I mean, you've got a huge job, and I can't even imagine exactly what is your job description as Director of Operations.
I oversee our customer service team, animal care team, adoptions programs, transfer programs, and foster programs.
That's a lot.
It keeps me busy, and I love it.
I love it too, and I really support the Maui Humane Society, and it's been it's a long, hard job, and it's sometimes difficult. I know it's really hard because you fall in love with your animals down there. Do you have pets?
I do have pets of my own, and I frequently foster and fall in love with them too.
Oh, do you take extras in foster?
I do take extras in. I pretty much perpetually have fosters at home, and it's just so rewarding to see them get up and on their feet and into new homes when we're through.
It's something awesome. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. And before we completely wind up, and I'm waiting for Tony to call, but Tony hasn't called, I want to offer again the chance to get a calendar This is a big contest, and it usually starts around June, isn't it?
May or June, yeah. May or June is when it launches. Mm-hmm.
And you have hundreds of pictures that come in, right?
Lots of submissions. Lots of folks submit to try to get their pets to win a spot in the calendar. And then voting happens online, and the winners end up in our beautiful calendar. And it just ends up, I feel like it gets better every year. The photos are incredible.
It's so sweet to see some of them, and I'm sure everyone would like to see some of the wonderful animals. And if you want a free calendar, you can call 244-9533, 244-9533, and you can get a calendar from the Maui Humane Society. And I think when you see that picture of the beautiful pet on your wall, as I do when I have it right by my computer, it makes you smile.
It does. It's hard not to when you see these little ones.
And I wanted one other thing I want to remind people: Chinese New Year is coming up. It's actually the actual date is February 5th, but a lot of people are celebrating on the 10th or the weekend after. Okay, so this is another opportunity. People don't realize it, and in some cultures, it's bigger than New Year's Eve here.
Sure.
So there'll be a lot of firecrackers going off again. I know there's been this big debate about
so
fireworks.
They're so hard for the animals.
People, if you don't have a pet and you don't, I mean, I can't even see if you have a pet why you would ever even think of putting off a firecracker, because pets get so completely freaked out by it. Then some are just shaking. Gary out here, he has a dog that was so freaked out by firecrackers in his neighborhood. He literally came in. So on New Year's Eve, he came into the station.
Oh.
At midnight and kept the pet here with him for 2 hours because there was a neighbor putting off firecrackers till like 2 in the morning.
Poor thing.
I know, but people don't realize their ears are so sensitive to hearing, and it freaks them out. I know someone that had wrapped their dog's head up in towels just so that it wouldn't, and it was shaking still, you know. And on top of that junk that is left afterwards, a lot of people go and leave or go to the beach or leave the junk on the streets, and that's not good because animals can eat that stuff too, you know?
Yeah, fireworks are really hard. It's we always see a spike in stray dog intakes right around any big firework events, which this year also included Christmas. We had a very busy day after Christmas with lots of fireworks and lots of stray dogs then.
After Christmas?
Right, yep. Christmas Day, we had a big spike. And New Year's Day, of course. And so, again, that goes back to microchipping. You know, if a pet does get out, collars and ID tags are the best way for a pet to get back home because it's visible. Anyone can see that this pet has a tag and give the owner a call. But sometimes dogs get scared and they slip out of their collar. So that microchip is that last line of defense to help get a pet home. And most folks don't know our officers actually carry microchip scanners in their trucks with them.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so when our officers find a stray dog or someone calls that they find a dog and our officers go out, they can scan the dog right there in the field, look it up in the computer system, and help get that dog home right away if it has that microchip.
Yeah, no, and it's just cruel to, I feel so bad when I hear it. Not just cats. There's dogs and birds, and any of the animals really are not used to that. So for Chinese New Year, you know, get a pig maybe. It's the year of the pig this year.
Yeah, we always close all the windows, turn the music up, pull the curtains, make everything as calm and dark as at home as possible. Calms them down.
You know, Warren Eckstein always says on his show that you can actually train your pet to get used to it. If you start with the sound of firecrackers at a low level, and then you slowly increase it, just to use a recording, and you just are there to help the pet get used to that sound, that you can actually train your animal to get used to it so they're not completely freaked out.
Yeah, basic conditioning stuff can work wonders with that kind of thing. It's hard when you can't control it and when there's a big event going on and you can't postpone it.
No, absolutely. And there's such an importance for understanding and training. I saw the cutest cartoon the other day. There were two dogs walking, and they said, "I'm so tired of always saying sit, stay, down." I said, "Why don't they ever say think, innovate, be creative?"
That's perfect.
So, you know, we have people that their pets are their life, and I understand that. So it's really important to treat that pet with respect. And that's why if you haven't listened to Warren Eckstein's show on Saturday morning here from 10 till noon, he's a behaviorist, and you can learn so much about your animal and how to treat it. And basically, he always says, you got to be trained. It's not the dog or the cat that he's training.
Right.
It's the owner that needs to understand how the animal works, because they're a lot smarter than we give them credit
We have
for.
to learn how to speak their language.
It's absolutely essential. So it's been a pleasure talking to you, Jamie, and I thank you for the work you do. It's a lot of great work, and I thank you for the Maui Humane Society and everything you do there. It's wonderful. And I don't think Tony's going to call in, so I'm just going to talk, and you can help me. One thing I want to talk about that I know that Tony did want to talk about, which is really, really important here, is that there was some unfortunate incidences that happened at the Queen Ka'ahumanu Center. And I know that Tony just put out a press release about what they're doing to try to make things better. And this is really important that we realize that the Queen Ka'ahumanu Center is a very important place. I know sometimes you do promotions down there, don't you? I think some every now and then.
There's been some stuff.
Yeah, that you do down there. And one thing you have to realize is that it's just like a very important place for us to go. It's like our town center. And Tony put out this announcement just the other day that the Queen Ka'ahumanu Center has served the community for 46 years. And it is Maui's largest shopping mall. There's more than 100 shops there, and of course there's all the pop-up shops too. And so they're taking the security concerns really, really seriously, which is so important. And they've added cameras, and they've added security. Now they have cameras upstairs where the bathrooms are, and also where the food court is. And this is also having a security team patrol. They've added extra people. And they now patrol interior and exterior on foot and by car 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it also helps when people care as well. And if they have a special number, you can let them know if anything looks wrong or suspicious. So you can be vigilant as well, and you don't have to get involved, but you can call their QKC Cares and let people know number. And the management is really wanting to assure the community on this important thing, that the shopping center is a safe and secure environment, and you don't need to worry that the tenants and the patrons and staff are really constantly watching out for what's going on there. I know there's a lot of discussion about what was happening with the bus hub there, and there were concerns about that, and there is a new area that's going to be built across the street, the old Bacon parking lot across the street. But that's not going to happen until January 31st, 2020. And it takes a little time to build that. So please be aware that that's in the process, and they do care about that. And there's always a number you can call if there's anything suspicious going on, which is 877-0718, 877-0718. And you can always go to queenka'ahumanucenter.com. I bet Tony's in a meeting right now, and that's why she couldn't call in, because she stays very, very busy. You were so kind to stay. I'm going to go a little bit into your background. So how did you find out about the Maui Humane Society, and what made you want to care about that?
Well, I actually started working at my first Humane Society I worked at. I started 17 years ago, right out of college. And so I started.
And where was that?
That was in Corvallis, Oregon. I started as a part-time animal care technician, cleaning dog kennels and cat cages, and I worked my way up and became a foster coordinator there, and then became director of operations. I worked at that shelter for 6+ years. I got a job at the Willamette Humane Society in Salem, Oregon, to help them open their high-volume, high-quality spay-neuter clinic, as well as oversee their animal care and customer care programs. And then...
Is that tied into some of the Wings of Aloha, the fact that
they are actually one of our transfer partners now, so we do send to both of the shelters I used to work at, so I've personally vetted them. But about 6 years ago, my husband and I were looking around, realizing that Oregon had been great to us for all those years, but we were ready for our next adventure, wherever that might be.
You mean you were tired of the rain?
Well, probably. I was born and raised in Oregon, so I've definitely had my share of rain. And so I knew I wanted to keep doing what I was doing, so I looked on the national job postings to see what shelters were hiring for director of operations. We didn't set out to move to Hawaii or Maui specifically, but...
Was the job that... Not
the
Maui.
job brought me.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and we've never looked back. I don't regret it for a second. I love Maui. I love this job. I love this organization.
And you had pets you had to bring over.
Yeah, that's a big deal, but very doable. My husband stayed on the mainland to work on selling the house and wait out the quarantine with the pets. I moved here, and then he followed with the pets a few months after.
Wow. And that was when it's still easier than it used to be with the quarantine. Though.
Absolutely. And it even just got easier very recently. It used to be a 120-day window, so a 4-month time period once pets got their rabies titers done before they could come here, and it just dropped down to just 30 days.
That's really better.
So much better for everybody.
So when you do Wings of Aloha, how do you deal with that?
Well, the nice thing is that that quarantine process only applies for animals coming into the state of Hawaii and not going to the mainland, because our concern is we don't want to bring rabies into Hawaii. Well, the mainland already has rabies and we don't, so our pets that we send over are easy to send because they're already free and clear.
One vet.
They just have to have a health certificate to prove that they are healthy enough to withstand the airfare or the air flight.
Oh, and you can do that right at your site.
Yep. One of our vets does that for us to certify that they are healthy and good to go. And we give them a rabies vaccination just to help protect them.
And you
they're on
take
the
them
mainland.
down to the airport and take them to what section to get them?
We go to cargo. Yep, we fly, we go to the cargo station at the airport, get them all checked in, they confirm all the paperwork is in order, and our transfer partners have their staff or our trusted volunteers meet the dogs and cats at the airport on the other end. We send out a couple flights of animals every week. We've got another flight two flights going out, I think, this Thursday.
Do they give you a special deal? Because it's expensive to fly the pets.
Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines have been very nice to us. They've been great and have helped us out. So there are definitely costs associated with the program, but they have been very supportive in our life-saving efforts.
Well, because otherwise, my gosh,
Yep.
it can be expensive. And I hope people are aware of all the news stories about what can happen with pets. Also, when you don't know what's going on with cargo on the mainland, there's been some stories of things that is like, oh my God.
There's a lot of rules, and there's good reasons for it. You know, there are embargoes based on a temperature. If it's too hot or too cold on the mainland, the airlines won't let us fly the pets, and for good reason. It's all about safety.
You probably don't have to worry about that as much on the West Coast as you would right now on the East Coast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thankfully, most of our transfer partners are in the Pacific Northwest, so our pets can take nonstop flights as stress-free as possible.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, we're very fortunate.
Well, and you told me 600 pets have been found. I mean, homes.
Just last year.
It's amazing. And you know what? A lot of places couldn't even think of doing this because it's so time and work intensive to make happen.
Yeah, it is. It's an incredible investment of time and energy. But when we know that that's the difference between an animal finding a home versus maybe not finding a home, that's where it's worth it. And that's why we go that extra mile.
Well, you're awesome. It's so nice. We got a whole hour to talk. I learned a lot about you and the Humane Society, and people can learn more by going to MauiHumaneSociety.org.